Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great Saturday morning. This morning we have a very special guest, but on Saturday morning we couldn't get on live, so this is a recording. Like I said, we have a very special guest, but first let's get to the intro. Alright, like I said, we have a very special guest, but don't forget, if you want to go and get some Saturday Morning Cartoons merch, I have one of the t-shirts on right now. You can go to the Etsy shop that we have scrolling across the bottom right now. We have coffee mugs, t-shirts, and sweatshirts that you can get from there. I really like the quality of t-shirts and the coffee mugs. The design does not come off. But without further ado, let's welcome Miss Arrin Lovett.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
I love your intro. Whoever did your intro, I need to help with my intro.
Dad did.
Well, he did good.
Thank you. All right. Could you introduce yourself? Where do you live? Where did you grow up at? And what is your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, my name is Arrin Lovett. I am from a small country town in New Mexico. I'm sixth generation farmer rancher. Prior to joining insurance, I did a lot of management roles. So I helped go in and ran offices, and I moved up here to Fort Worth 5 years ago, and I came here all up on my own. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But going from small town life to the big city living was a huge adjustment for me. And so fell into some jobs that weren't really good jobs, but I've learned a lot. And something about when I turned 30, I just thought, you know what? I'm kind of tired of working for other people. I know I'm capable of doing this on my own. So I Googled, what can I do that I'm self-employed and I don't have a lot of overhead, and insurance popped up. And I thought, I don't know anything about this, but I'm smart. And if this doesn't work, I can pivot. And so I gave it a shot, and it's just been growing ever since. And so I'm in this almost 3 years now.
Nice.
Health insurance primarily is what I do.
Health insurance. Gotcha. All right. Before I start asking you questions, do you have any questions for me?
Yes. I want to know how you got started with your own podcast at such a young age. That's so impressive.
So the way I got started with it was Dad went on the Ultimate Agent tour with Cody Askins, because he hosted that, and then he met Joe on there, which he is the leader of the insurance syndicate. Well, his dad is. Well, yeah, he is the leader of the insurance syndicate, and then with Tony, and then his dad's the leader of Redwoods. Joe, and then Dad met Joe whenever they were on the Ultimate Agent tour. And they were talking about how they have a show every day except for Sunday because that's family day. And then they figured out that Saturday was open. And then Dad came up with the name Saturday Morning Cartoons. And ever since, we've kept that name, and then we made the intro that has cartoons in it, and that's how we got started.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see how your life opens up, once you go through high school and college and as you're an adult starting so young with this. That's really awesome.
Thank you. All right. I have a question for you now.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing about being in the insurance business?
My favorite thing about being in the insurance business, I would say it's to help people. That's what, when I first was thinking, okay, what can I go start to do and be self-employed? I've always wanted to help people, and that's just what motivates me. And so knowing that I can help people with insurance really helps. Like, I'm sure anybody in the insurance field, insurance is a pain. No one likes to deal with the carriers. But the fact that I can take something that's so complicated, simplify it, and relay it to other people who are confused and ultimately are just looking for safety and, for their future and for their family, and knowing that I can help break that down and provide that's what keeps me in the insurance business, and that's what makes me enjoy what I do.
Especially whenever COVID was around, because you said you do health insurance, so that probably hit a lot during COVID.
It did. Now, I didn't start this journey until pretty much right after COVID, but I still dealt with a lot of the repercussions of COVID for sure. Like, I did have one client early on in my career be sent to the hospital for COVID. And so being able to, luckily, I put him on a plan that gave him good hospitalization and, some things other than just his regular insurance. So that gave him a big sum of money back to help pay off bills. So that was a win in my book for starting out.
Yeah, it probably was. All right. What is something you have learned about yourself while being in insurance?
Oh, man, a lot. I think being an entrepreneur and being self-employed, you go through a lot of ups and downs. There's definitely been times that I'm like, I hate this. I'm going to quit. I can't do this. So the one word that really sticks out to me when you ask me that question, Sawyer, is resilience. And so I've learned how resilient that I can be. And by that, I mean like pivoting. Like, I feel like the most important word for success, one of the biggest, is how resilient you can be and how well you can pivot, because there's a lot of changes that happen year to year in life with insurance, with the world, with healthcare. And so having to pivot what you do, something may work great for 6 months, but the next 6 months it doesn't. And so far I've been in 3 open enrollments, and every open enrollment is different and every carrier is different. And so if I wasn't able to pivot or to adjust to the way, the world was changing, it'd be easy for me to just say, forget it, throw my hands up and, think bad of myself and say, I can't do this. So I think to go back, it'd be the fact that I'm resilient. And that's really shocked me and surprised me.
Gotcha. Is there anything, no. Is there anything specific that you learned that you've been able to use in your business to help you hire people?
Well, I don't have any.
If you don't hire, is there anything specific that you've been able to use to help you get clients?
Yes. Okay. So let me kind of back up, going back with the original question. When I first started, I dreamed of having a big agency and having a bunch of agents work under me. And so I did actually try this out for just a short time. And I brought on an agent and I quickly got rid of that agent. I heard a phrase from a very smart guy a long time ago: when you go to hire, is hire slow and be quick to fire. So for me, the biggest thing is I built this all organically and all on referrals. And it's really hard to teach somebody else just how to be a good person, And So that's when I quickly realized, okay, hiring's not going to work for me. I'm going to have to pivot and figure out how to build an agency and still be a solopreneur. So now going, twofold to your question, I think just being transparent, just being genuine and just be who you are naturally. I'm going to talk to a client I've never met, just like I'm talking to you right now, just like I would talk to my dad over coffee. Just being you and being honest and being able to say, hey, I don't know that answer, but I'll find out that answer for you, I think really goes a long way. And then people don't feel like you're just trying to sell them on something and then just leave them.
Gotcha. Has anything embarrassing happened while you were on an appointment?
Let me think. Has anything embarrassing happened? Now, I don't do most of my appointments are taken by the phone. So I don't have any face-to-face.
Do you have any over?
I don't know.
Zoom?
Not often. So I used to be with a carrier that it was a part of what I had to do for them. Like if I was going to show an application, I had to screen share, but I never did Zoom like this. So they never saw me. There has to be something that was embarrassing. At the very beginning, I would say.
What about whenever you were whenever you were like just getting started into it? Like, and you met with like somebody?
I think probably one of the most embarrassing, I don't know if embarrassing is really the word, but I took on a lady. She was a referral. I got her exactly what she wanted and did everything correct. And then I don't know. I think what happened was like buyer's remorse. Someone's excited. They think they need this. They do need it. If it has to do with their health, my own opinion. And then for whatever reason, they do the application. They do everything. Everything's great. She went and left me a review. But then by that night, she was calling me, blowing me up because she went and Googled the insurance company, which, side note, if you do that with any insurance company, they're all going to have terrible reviews. But then I don't know what started going on in her head. But she called me and left me just this hateful voicemail. So I call her back and I'm like, what's going on? And she just rang me a new one. And I didn't really have words to say to that. And so to not really have anything to say back, I think was really embarrassing.
Yeah, I can see.
But, and in all actuality, I did nothing wrong. And that humbled me very quickly, made me realize like, you never know what's going on in other people's lives. And obviously something else was going on for her to lash out and take it out on me, but it still really hurt. And I would be lying if I said that didn't affect me for a solid month or two. And it made me very timid, to talk to anybody else because I was just afraid like, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? Am I going to mess up here? Am I going to, so that would be, I guess, my answer to that.
So you were saying that you were having a bit of a hard time for like a month after that. What did you do to get through that?
I did. Mentally, I had a really hard time because I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm not good at this. I'm a failure. Just all the things were coming into my mind to knock me down. And so honestly, I took like a week break because everybody I talked to, that was what was going on in the back of my head, every new client. And so I just had to take a break and just breathe and not even think about insurance and just get back to who I was and just realize, you know what? This happened for reasons I don't know, but it wasn't anything, that I could control or that I did wrong. So I need to quit taking it so hard.
Gotcha. You kind of just answered this question, but what challenges has insurance presented?
Just really just the constant questioning of, if I'm doing everything right. I think if someone were to say that, someone who works for themselves were to say that they don't deal with this, they're lying. But I think that's the biggest struggle that you deal with being an entrepreneur or an agent or whatever it is your field is are you doing everything correctly? And especially in my field for health insurance, every carrier is different. And I offer, 20 plus carriers. So I have to be educated and be on top of what the plan is and what the coverage is and what this covers and what this doesn't. And so to be really honest with you, every open enrollment, when it comes to the marketplace plans, the government provides subsidies to families, and it can affect their income tax the next year if they aren't transparent with me with their income. And so every year for open enrollment, every year when it comes to taxes, I stress out internally that someone's going to be sent, a big chargeback or something's going to be wrong and they're going to call me and chew me out because of it. When in actuality, I was transparent. It's not all on me to begin with, right? But that's one of my biggest fears and one of my biggest struggles that I deal with is perfection,
Gotcha. What's some tips that you would tell people about? No. What are some tips that you would tell people that are just now getting started in this insurance business?
You do not have to know it all to be good at what you're doing. When I first started, I'm that kind of person. I feel like I have to know everything and I have to know all the answers to anything they may ask. You don't have to know it all. You don't even have to know everything about the plans or whatever it is you're selling or, trying to present to people. Just be genuine. If you're genuine and you're there to help them, people are going to hear that and see that in you. And if you don't know the answer, be honest about it and find out what it is and then get back to them. But so many people, I think, get so nervous and they'll stretch the truth so many times just because they don't know and they don't want to say, I don't know, that's what ruins it for them, or that's what severs a relationship. And just be upfront and honest and don't be so hard on yourself. Don't put all the pressure on yourself.
Gotcha. All right. What are you most excited about for 2024?
2024, I think, is going to be a very different year for me. I've had a few other opportunities kind of fall into my lap. One of them being I have a book being published that should come out within the next month or two, and then another one having a TV, news channel / podcast.
What's your podcast going to be called?
It's World Changers.
Could you tell us something about that?
Yeah. So 3 things that are really important to me, and I think 3 things that keep the world go round is agriculture, being, my ag background. That's like my number 1 for me. Politics and faith or spirituality. And then also entrepreneurship, because if it wasn't for, people like your dad or myself or other entrepreneurs, there wouldn't be jobs, right? And our economy would not grow. So I decided I want to bring those 4 big topics together and talk about it. Bring on people who are being world changers and going out there and beating the odds and empowering change and making a difference, and just share these stories. So hopefully in the long run, I can bring in like an interconnectedness within not only just the United States, but hopefully worldwide, and just realize like we're all the same people just working for the same thing. Instead of being against each other, let's be with each other.
Gotcha. And one more question for you. What are some goals that you're hoping to accomplish in 2024?
Just to be better than I was in 2023. I want to continue to grow, better myself, no matter what, if that's going to be primarily on platforms, speaking to the world, or with insurance and helping clients. I know I'm going to have to figure out how to pivot Lovett Insurance, especially with some of these new endeavors that I really want to dive into as well. But I want to keep them all going. So whether that means I end up hiring an agent or 2, or I just double up the work for myself, I don't know yet. But I've got to figure out how to pivot, going back to that word pivot, and be resilient with changes and things that happen as I'm going.
Gotcha. All right. Well, you used up all my questions. Do you have any more questions for me?
What are your goals for 2024?
To accomplish my YouTube channel.
See, YouTube's hard. I may need your help with that. I struggle with YouTube. Facebook's my number 1, and then TikTok, and then Instagram.
I just got a GoPro for Christmas, so I'm making an outdoors channel.
Oh, that's awesome. That's super cool. I think
this is my first time telling everybody that watches the podcast. I told him I was coming out with a YouTube channel like 2 or 3 episodes ago, but I didn't tell him what it was. It's gonna be called Sawyer's Outdoor Stories.
That's awesome. Now, what stories in the outdoors are you wanting to do?
Well, we basically did that name because like our like initials for it basically is SOS, which we thought that was gonna be cool. So like we're gonna do like camping and fishing and a bunch of outdoorsy stuff.
That'll be awesome. I look forward to watching that.
Yeah, I haven't posted anything yet, but I filmed my first video. We just have to edit it.
That's awesome. You know, an SOS would be great also to add to your merch.
Yeah, that's what
You can make all kinds of designs with that.
I was thinking of having SOS in like bold letters as the merch. Or
That's
we could
awesome.
have fishing poles bent into the letters.
That's a great idea.
Or fishing hooks.
If I come up with some ideas, I'll send them over to you as well.
Okay. And then we need to like try to make like kind of our studio. We need to make a place for me to, whenever it's like super snowy out and super cold, we're going to have a place in the basement probably, or maybe even my room, where I can film videos of like how to tie this knot for this certain fish and like stuff like that, like how to tie your hook on for a catfish, how to tie a leader. Yeah, like just like super short, like 1 minute clips.
That's great. That's gonna blow up. I can already see it. I'm excited about it for you.
Well, I got the idea from my friend's dad, which he started a couple months ago. He started last year, like in November, and he has 580 subscribers, and he has like 50 videos, probably more. And a video that he posted a couple days ago. See here, you want to know something? The videos that he posted are like 20 minutes long. They have like 3,000 views. The little shorts, there was one of him picking up a mushroom that's like this big. It was this old dried up mushroom, has 10,000 views on it.
Wow, that's crazy.
That 30-second clip has 10,000 views.
That's something that I find difficult and I don't understand with social media, especially with different platforms, is I can make something that I think is very informative and everyone's going to love it. And I get like no likes. And then I just show something like a mushroom and everybody loves it. And it's like,
take a picture of your cat, post it. It gets so many views.
My dog, I think, is becoming more famous than me. I'm not kidding. I got an Instagram, a DM the other day on Instagram for my dog to be an ambassador.
My friend, he has a YouTube channel. He got like 5,000 views of his dog jumping up on his gate in his room.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Yeah.
And I think it's when people are on social media, they're scrolling because they want to take a break from their mind from like work and hard things. So
school.
Or school. So I think that's when those things, and people scroll. That's become a problem now in society, is we're scrollers. So if something doesn't grab their attention that quick, see you later.
Well, if you get a certain, like on the shorts, if you watch it for like a certain like 5 seconds, it counts as a view.
So like it's 5 seconds.
I don't know the exact time. But whatever that exact time is, the person doesn't have to watch the whole entire video for it to count as one view. Like if you have a 30-minute video, they can probably watch 15 minutes of it and it will count as a view. Even though it's not the whole video. Or whatever the numbers are.
Wow, that's interesting. See, that's for like your generation, like you're already becoming more of a rock star with social media than like me. Or, people of my age, or even probably like your dad, or just because you grew up in this. This is
I was going to say, it's because I grew up.
Exactly. So you have an advantage.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have any more questions for me?
I don't.
Okay. Well, I have a certain outro that I do. I say SMC out, and we do ducks to the camera.
Okay.
All right,
Perfect.
so 3, 2, 1. SMC out.